I thought we had king shocks. Apparently we have razor shocks because we've already blown them out on the Funco. Round 2, here we go. Assistance from good old Guiboa. Make sure this thing doesn't fall apart on me if I do it. If I do it, it'll just be some zip ties.
Each one of these holes. So every time it goes farther and farther, it's going to block off another hole, another hole, another hole. What it does is it causes less flow. So once you get past here, it's going to block off this rebound, this compression, and that rebound. So when the shock comes back down, it's got less flow. It's got more flow through here, less flow when it gets down here. Okay. Versus compression going up, blocks off each one of these ports. Port there, port there, 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 and there. So as it goes farther and farther, blocks them off, it gets stiffer and stiffer. Because you have 5, say 1, 2, 3, you have 3 zones of flow. Past that one, you have 2 zones of flow. Past that one, you have 1 zone of flow. Past that, you're in your bump zone. Nothing's moving, it's just bump. So that's where it is you can adjust these. So if it's riding like crap on small stuff, you're gonna adjust the first and second if you want to. But you're gonna adjust the lowest compression stroke. Whereas if it's bottoming out, you're gonna adjust the furthest compression stroke. Okay. So that's what it does, is the farther it goes, the more it closes off the holes. And then on rebound, once it's up, it's gonna flow through, these tubes are here, so it's gonna flow through this one first, this one second. So as it's come back down, it's gonna flow through these, you adjust this, and it controls how much it can flow through. So it's zone sensitive. If the car's not working in a specific spot, whether it's high speed whoops, G-outs, jumps, chatter bumps, comfort, you just adjust that specific zone. So I'd say 3 zones, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3.
Okay. She's pretty plush right now, I'd say.
Yeah, if it's
She's
plush,
not
like
firm.
if you're hitting like G-outs and it's bottoming out super hard, click this up a little bit. So you're gonna grab a wrench and an Allen, and you're gonna basically break this loose right here. You're gonna run the Allen in. It's gonna control the flow from this port, well actually this compression, so from this port through. Whereas rebound's gonna control from this port through.
So we need to go that way just a little bit. How much would you say turn it just to?
I would do like
at a
quarter
time.
turn at a time.
Quarter turn, red bit.
Small bits, yeah, small little bits. So bypasses, the piston doesn't have as much use as like a coilover on a razor, for example. These things, more of your control is in the tubes. So small changes here is gonna be a big change. And sand gets in the seals.
This has never been on the sand.
Never, not once. It's made for street, man.
Yeah, it's made for the street, as you can tell.
Drag radials.
All right, we made it to Mike's garage. The stacker is tight with the coach right there. And then we got the Funco here up on the rack. One cool thing about this lift is Mike got this additional piece that jacks it up, so we're able to lift up the front end to drain the oil out. And then for the transmission, we needed to lift it on the side, so we lifted it on the side to get the oil out. So nice setup. Got the whole lift here, and then all the oils and everything go over there.
Cleaned it, but I haven't really. See how close we are over here?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want this falling off, so what I'm gonna do is lift it up and see if we can slide it over.
Okay.
If not, we'll have to drive it back over.
Okay.
I still want that to,
Yeah, that.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's way off. Yeah, that was. I didn't even notice.
Well, first thing I looked at, I got ready to lift the lift, and I'm like, no.
No good. Alright, time to do some maintenance on the Funco before we head to St. Anthony. So we got the little road tires on here to get it on the trailers and then the lift. Then we got the man of the hour, Mike, with this amazing lift, so we don't have to crawl under the machine in 100-degree weather.
Doesn't feel 100 degrees in here, does it?
Not in here, outside it does.
I know, that's what I'm saying, so I like it.
Yeah. It's nice, we got the AC units in here, so it's nice and cool. We got a lift, we don't have to crawl on the rocks or pay someone $5 grand to do a service on a Funco.
And this way, you know it's done.
Yeah.
You know it's done right. That's the main thing I like to do it for, so that I know that it's done right. Like, you know that it got done. You know that all the plugs got put back. You know that all the...
You're not missing bolts.
I usually change the oil on my Funco every 2 trips.
Every 2?
I did my transmission 3 times this season.
Really?
I did it before the season started. I did it about Christmas time, and I did it again.
Oh, okay.
So I do mine 3 times. I know you don't have to do it that much, but
I mean, if you have the setup, it helps, right?
I just like to take care
To where it's like, boom, it's in here, you can take good care of it.
I put it in here. This is so much easier to pull it off, get the right tools. So I had someone else change my oil. I'm not gonna name any names for the company, but they did, and so they missed 3 of my bolts. So
really?
One was missing here, one was missing there, and that's why I like to do it myself, just to make sure. I actually enjoy it. When I have time, I enjoy working on my car. Like, it gives me something to do in my garage.
Yeah.
You keep your car running perfect. And as a pilot, I'm always doing pre-flight, so I like to pre-flight my car.
I hated pre-flight when I was flying.
No, dude, that's the thing that keeps you alive. That's the thing that keeps your car alive. Is we won't zip it with this side. I'm gonna hold it with this side and ratchet the back until I get the nut loose, because that way, hopefully it'll, does that make sense?
Yeah, not put so much torque on that head.
Yeah. And you warmed it up enough that the oil's gonna dump good and you're gonna clean it out nice. I always like to start my car and just a little bit, just enough to warm it up, just enough to get the oil flowing, because it'll drop right out of there. I need a half. Oh, you got one? Yep. Whole panel loose?
Yeah, this whole
so that should slide straight back, yep. And what I do is I lay it on a rag on top of here. So just bring it this way, because you're gonna have bolts on top of it. That way I don't scratch it. Now's a good time. Now's a good time. You can clean all your frame. You can look up in here, and what I do, down while I'm, okay, there's a loose. So that's loose. See that wire?
Yeah.
So there's things that I just go through, and if things are loose, like, well, I want to tighten that, and just I look for every little, check your belts so they look like they're, you know what I mean? This is cool, because now you can really look the car over. I thought it was coming. I thought, oh, we got it. Scott. Funco. It says Scott. Funco. Good job, dude.
That's insane. I'm just worried when we gotta put it back on.
So I always make sure this is a little under level, okay? Meaning
I was gonna ask
it's gonna flow that way.
Bag it.
And you're good right now. It's bagged. So I bag mine. So for the transmission, we're gonna bag it the other way and drop it down and lift your front up, because we want the transmission to be level. So we're not doing that. So right now we're set up. You just gotta get that. They got it pretty tight, don't they?
Well, I'm trying not to get too excited, you know.
There you go. Sometimes I'll put a piece of cardboard and block it if it's gonna spray out somewhere.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I got this little piece of cardboard I use for that. Hey, that worked pretty good.
Yeah, that worked perfect.
See, but now it's on your gloves and now you can't move because you're trapped. So here, you know what I mean? When you can just pull the nut out of there. We're just gonna let it drain. And we're just gonna leave that, let it drain. So we're done with that section for a minute.
Oh, it died already?
Yeah, that crushed the battery, huh?
I didn't even bring extra. I think we need extra.
Hey, you're supposed to be videoing your car. You changing your oil. This is the whole documentary.
It's all dead.
What camera? What battery?
So Mike's got the front end jacked up so we can drain the transmission fluid and get it tilted downward. Found out just one time a season, right?
Yeah.
We got to check this and
or
explain
at least
it.
mid-season or whatever. There's a jam nut here with it looks like a plug that comes out, but actually you loosen the jam nut and you pull this out, and then you can loosen the jam nut back, and then you finger tight this little bolt into where the compression ring is, so it'll go up against that ring and pinion. So when the ring and pinion's under load, it won't have room to move and won't blow your ring and pinion out, which we adjusted it probably what, an 3/16.
We moved it quite a bit.
So I mean,
it needed the adjustment.
It needed that much adjustment. So we broke that loose, pulled it out, trying to find the deal, put it back in, got the jam nut, so we're locked back up. We got to tighten back up our batteries. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really tight that back.
But definitely check that one. You're draining oil. So we drained everything. Then you can show them where the fill plug is.
And then the fill plug is
this big nut up inside
big
there.
old nut right here.
And we got a hose. We got a hose that we'll take and pump it from the jug, and it takes how many?
7 quarts.
7 quarts.
In the Mendeola S4D-10.
Yeah. So the Mendeola this one takes 7 quarts, and he said to jack it up to where the one side was higher. We just put exactly 7 quarts in it to make it easy, because that way it doesn't drain out or try to feel how much it takes.
Awesome. Almost there. All right, tranny fluid going in.
And it's thick, so it goes slow. So when you're pumping it,
Dude, my arms are pumped from just doing 1 gallon worth.
Takes exactly 7 quarts. Skid plate back on. Make sure all the bolts are in. We've kind of looked at everything, the batteries, and we had a couple connections that were loose here and there. And because before we put the skid plate back on, we got a couple little things. We noticed a wire was loose up inside there that needs a zip tie on it. We noticed there was a battery connection that was loose, or a deal on the solenoid on the starter on the other side. You got that. And this is just where I like to look it over and really pre-flight it and look for any loose zip ties, bolts, wires. Keep wiping it down, keep cleaning it, and then we'll put the skid plate back on and lower it down and fill the oil. So we didn't have enough. I always like to see if we can see our fingerprint. That's when we know if our oil is good or not.
All right, all done. We got new tran oil, new engine oil, new filter.
Adjusted the transmission.
Adjustment. We're good to go. Sand dune season is upon us.
I'm ready. Mine's all loaded. I'm ready. I'm not loaded, but mine's ready.
Ready to rip. All right, here we go. Sand dunes. Here we come. Funkos are ready to rip. And this is Mike's playground. Got the couches, the good old coach and the stacker, the trifecta, the 400s on it.
This is the best part of the patio.
And then it's beach life.
Okay, best part of the patio is the misters.
This is Mike's Zen location, right?
That's my Zen garden, baby.
Good old Zen garden right here.
And I gotta do my massage and do my stuff so I can be ready for dune season.
You got to be all loosened up for dune season.
Oh yeah.
Now, last time we saw this Razor over here, it looked a little different, and Mike's done a little bit to it, and it looks so much beefier and better.
Different rims. The only thing I haven't done really is the cage and doors. But I don't know how much
Yeah, the orange and gray, Mike's favorite colors.
Yeah, same with the Jeep, orange and gray. Except the other car is not orange and gray, it's white. And the Raptor's white that pulls the boat. But I gotta match those.
The Raptor pulls the boat?
Raptor pulls the well over the Jeep, but yeah, it's the other one.
How is that, that soft suspension pulling the boat?
That actually pulled, I pulled this boat, the trifecta, with the Jeep there today, and it actually it was fine. I just pulled it down to the marina, so it was only a couple miles, so it worked good. But I pulled the Raptor is easy to pull it. Or the
Does the Raptor pull it better?
Oh yeah, Raptor.
I just didn't know because of that suspension.
No, because mine's a 20, so my Raptor's a 20, so I think they changed that new coilover on the newer one.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
That helped.
So mine still was not bad.
And then
There's not a whole lot of room between them, but the slide outs are all out too. So
slide outs are out, but no room.
I can have the full motor home open.
Well, you got to tell us about this. Number 2, right?
Yeah.
Number 2.
All these
With a bow.
Except 2 of them, so that's the exact bow I shot them with.
Number 2 in the world with that.
407 and 7.8.
That bow.
With gross 424 and 7.8, it's typical 6.0 with a bow.
Legit.